she's got the hat back! The time machine was destroyed. Huh? I woke up on top of blankets laid out on the floor of a hospital. Okay, alright, it was a dream. I was gonna say, I'm like, what the frick is happening? How's it going, everybody? HoodlaMutt here, back with some more Steins Gate Zero. And last time, well, let's start with the good things, shall we? Well, I guess that wasn't even really good, but we screwed up Daru's date, kinda, as Suzuha. And apparently sort of saved Yuki, who wasn't really sure if maybe she wants to be with Daru. She had a very vague answer of "I don't know what to do" or something along that line. But more pressing, Okabe spilled all of the information he's had on time machines and time travel and credits and everything in between to Maho, which he didn't even need to go as far as he did, but he did. And, well, she was being used by Leskinen. Her brain was being some kind of controlled in some way. Apparently to the point that it would actually do some amount of at least minimal damage to the brain. That's pretty screwed. And then we were captured by Leskinen, tied to a chair, and he wants to get all of the data in our brain to be able to share the time travel info with the rest of the world, so that, just like nuclear weapons, everyone can be pointing that, metaphorical gun at each other so that no one can abuse the time travel power. It's actually a pretty good villain motive, I must say. It's actually, like, you can actually reason how that could make some kind of sense. And last we saw, we were about to get our freaking brain melted by whatever machine they were going to be using to extract the data out of our heads. So let's just do this. Her head hurt. Maho knelt down, closed her eyes, and bit her lips to shut out the pain. There was an annoying noise in her head that wouldn't go away. It made the headache worse. No matter how much she covered her ears, she couldn't block it out. She wanted to scream from the pain, but she held it in because she thought it would only make her headache worse. She could hear a voice mixed in with the noise. It was Dr. Leskinen's. Listen, Maho. You need to find out Okabe Lintaro's secret, no matter what it takes. If you can't, I'll have to kill him. You don't want that, right? You seemed to really like Lintalo, didn't you? Me and Kurtz kept bringing it up, after all. Even if you weren't interested in him originally, you couldn't help but think about him. That's how the human mind works. And to save him, I want you to find out what he knows. If you do that, I'm willing to bring him to my lab, unconditionally. Maho, tell me everything you learn from him. You could say his future is in your hands. The voice and the noise were extremely unpleasant. She couldn't really understand what the voice was saying. She could hear him speaking, but her brain refused to understand the meaning of the words. But it didn't matter either way. Maho had done something terrible to Okabe Lintaro. She'd sold him out to Dr. Leskinen and Stratford. And the fact that she knew it just made her guilt worse. She wanted to disappear from the world altogether.
Maho?
She was on a busy street in Akihabara in early summer. She was leaning on the side of a building in the shade when she heard someone call her name. Oh, she's got the hat back! Is that the same hat? No, that looks different. Yeah, it doesn't have I think the other one had like a ribbon around it. Hey, it's close though.
I knew it was you, Maho. Mayuri?
She didn't expect to see Mayuri here, so she didn't know how to respond. She just looked back and stared.
Are you not feeling well? I'm fine. Have you seen Okarin? Huh?
Maho went completely still. Mayuri's innocent question reminded her of her own stupidity and cowardice.
Why?
Her voice was shaking.
I haven't been able to get a hold of Okarin since yesterday.
Oh.
He hasn't gone home. He hasn't picked up the phone. And he's not answering text messages on Rhine. Daru says I'm worrying too much, but something doesn't feel right. So I left school early today, and now I'm searching around here.
It was still only July, but it was pretty hot. She'd been wandering around all of Akihabara in this heat. Mayuri Shino was a kind, pure-hearted girl. That was the impression that Maho had. She would never betray someone, or get jealous, or let someone use her.
Do you want to know? Huh?
Mayuri leaned forward.
Maho, do you know where Okarin is? If you know, please tell me. Please.
She bowed deeply.
I see.
And then she realized, and then she wished she hadn't. Mayuri was in love with Rintaro Okabe. Oh. A dull pain ran down her temples. You seemed to really like Rintaro, didn't you? Aw. She could hear the noise in her head. Just tell Mayuri everything. And then have this innocent girl tell you how horrible you are. Maybe you'll feel better then. The idea raced through Maho's mind, even as she knew it was wrong. She tried to hold back her headache as she opened her mouth.
I was with Okabe late last night. Were you? So where is he now?
Maho ignored her question.
This is what he told me last night. No. He told me about another world he'd experienced, where you, Mayuri Shina, had died again and again.
Well, okay, that's weird. Why are we bringing that up?
Huh?
Don't tell her.
No matter what he did, he couldn't save you.
You can't tell her this.
To escape that nightmarish loop. To save you.
It was like another person was speaking using Maho's mouth.
Okabe sacrificed Kudets. He let her die. That's what he told me. If he makes a time machine and tries to save Kudets again, he'll go back to all that.
This is weird. She's just dropping this out of nowhere. What the heck? Okay. Sure. You're hurting her. But the words didn't stop.
Okabe is so afraid of that. He's doing everything he can to protect you. This is the world he chose, after sacrificing many things to protect you. I'm sure he didn't tell you any of that, though. That's not true. No. Okay.
Mayuri was too shocked to speak. She looked like she was about to cry at any instant. Suddenly, Mayuri turned around and started to walk away with slumped shoulders. Even from behind, Maho could tell she was having trouble walking straight. The truth was so cruel that confronting it threatened her very identity. That's how it seemed to Maho. Maho was still in a trance. It felt like there was a fog covering everything she saw. It was all out of focus, like a mirage. If someone told her it was a dream, she would easily believe it. The same was true of her own mind. She knew she should feel worse about what she'd just told Mayuri, but while she realized she'd hurt her, she felt no emotion. That was probably why she was able to say something so awful. And then the phone in her pocket began to vibrate. What the heck? I guess she just had to get the guilt off her chest? What? That was a weird thing to just drop after just walking aimlessly and then, coincidentally running into Mayuri. What the heck? She looked and saw it was from Amadeus. From Kudets. She felt a small, thin needle prick her paralyzed heart. She couldn't answer it. How could she? She stared at the LCD screen, unable to move her fingers even a centimeter.
How could I answer it?
She couldn't let Kudets see her like this. But even so, it felt wrong to just stay here. Maho decided to go after Mayuri. But by the time she made it to the overpass, Mayuri was already gone. Since she was right in front of the station, there were many people around, and it would have been impossible to find her.
Why did you come up to me? If you hadn't talked to me, you wouldn't have had to suffer. I'm not who I used to be.
She looked down over the station from the overpass and whispered to herself. And then she saw someone in a distinctive outfit approaching her. They were wearing a black motorcycle suit and black full-face helmet despite the heat. Oh, okay. Alright, how we doing, Kagari? What the heck are you doing here? She thought it might have been a cosplayer, but instead of trying to take pictures, the people nearby were avoiding them. Given a closer look, the person appeared to be a woman. Even Maho could tell that she had incredible proportions. The woman walked under the overpass and vanished from Maho's view. And then she came up the stairs. and she came right toward Maho. Maho quickly looked away, like the other pedestrians, and tried to run away. But before she could, the woman in the motorcycle suit ran over and wordlessly grabbed her hand. There was a pain in her cheek. Oh, did she just smack her? I thought that was Maho doing that. What the heck? She just smacked her. She was caught off guard and staggered to the ground. At first, she didn't know what had happened. She rubbed her aching cheek, and only then did she realize that the woman in the motorcycle suit had slapped her.
You hurt Mommy, didn't you?
She could hear a muffled female voice from within the helmet. I'll kill you. Her voice was very calm, which only terrified Maho more. The professor told me about you, but it doesn't matter. Oh no, she works for him? Oh, I didn't know she worked for him. I thought she was doing her own thing. I thought she worked for CERN or something. Maybe he works for CERN. Oh, frick. Okay. Cool. Who are you? Because she was wearing a helmet, Maho couldn't read her facial expressions. Since the visor was lowered, she couldn't even see her eyes. There was no answer to her question. Instead, the woman looked up to the sky as if she'd noticed something. Maho looked up too. For a moment, it seemed as if a black shadow crossed the windows of the building. Huh? She could hear a helicopter. It was close. How long had it been there? She hadn't noticed it at all. And then she felt the air around her change. The pedestrians were all looking toward the station in fear and shock. She could hear people saying things like, "What's that? Are they filming a TV show? Some kind of cosplay event?" Something was going on at the station. Maho stood up and looked too. What is that? She found herself whispering the same thing as the others. There were 2 trucks painted a deep military green parked outside the station. Ha! What the frick? Men were coming out of them, dressed in camo and carrying weapons. At first, she thought it might have been the self-defense force, but the men weren't Japanese. It was hard to believe that what she was seeing was taking place in Japan. The men in camo disappeared into the alleyways as everyone watched from a safe distance. They were heading toward the radio building. Maho had heard from Dintaro yesterday that the time machine was there. Was that Stratford? Or Russia? Or perhaps another country's military? Were they here because Maho had told Leskinen what she'd learned from Dintaro? As soon as the thought crossed her mind, she was hit with another terrible headache. It was all her fault. Everything was her fault. Until a moment ago, everything had seemed so hazy. But now she felt crushed by overwhelming guilt. If Okabe was right, and the Third World War was going to begin here in Akihabara, it would be because she gave the information he shared with her to Stratford. She suddenly realized that the girl who'd threatened to kill her had run down the stairs and toward the station. Maho never did figure out who she was, but she knew the professor, which is scary. What the frick? And then her phone started to vibrate again. It was from Kudets. She wanted to get away from the guilt. And so this time, she picked up the phone.
Maho! Kudets. Are you okay? What do you mean? What happened to you? Nothing. But you're crying. Aw.
Only then did she realize that her eyes were overflowing with tears. The fog over her mind was now totally gone, and all that was left was the guilt, the regret, and the headaches.
My head hurts.
You could say his future is in your hands. She heard the noise again.
Where's Okabe? What happened to him? Who cares about Okabe? You tried to kill him! I saw it! Leave me alone. I can't do that. Just leave me alone! I couldn't beat you. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't be better than you. You know, Kudets, I respected you. You're younger than me, but I think you're an incredible scientist. But at the bottom of my heart, this is what I used to think. Why did you have to show up? Why didn't you come 10 years before? Why didn't you come 10 years later? If it weren't for you, I would have had a more peaceful life. And these awful things wouldn't take control of me. Everything I thought I knew, you destroyed! And even though you're dead, you're still with me! I want to just be sorry that you're gone, but I can't. You're still this wall that I can't overcome. And my pride and stubbornness get in the way. And the man I trusted the most took advantage of that to betray me. And I betrayed a friend who trusted me. I can't even think straight anymore. So leave me alone. Maho.
She was getting far too emotional. Normally, she'd never behave like this, but she couldn't stop herself. Oh, frick! Huh? Oh, they shooting up the joint. Oh, what the frick? Did they go into the radio building? She heard an explosion in the distance. Whoa! The people around her started to scream, panic, and run. The flames from the explosion were coming from the direction the men in camo had gone. Did they do it? The helicopter sounds were getting louder. Glimpses of their dark, agile bodies had flashed in and out of Maho's vision for a little while now. And then she started to hear loud gunfire. It was more than one or two people shooting. There was a battle going on between many people, taking place here in front of Akihabara Station. It was like the beginning of a war. How did they just stroll up and do that, though? What? If what Rintaro said was true, Suzuha Amane might be near the time machine, and she might be caught up in the battle. She wondered about the woman in the motorcycle suit, too. She started to stagger forward. She still didn't know what she was planning, but she needed to take responsibility for what she'd done. The elevators in the radio building were broken. Maho had no choice but to take the stairs to the roof. But maybe the power had been cut, because the lights were off on every floor. She could hear sporadic sounds of gunfire from the floors above. Strangely, nobody came running past her to escape. There were several shops in the building, and of course, there should have been customers there. But despite the fact that the elevators weren't working, had they all evacuated earlier? Or were they all hiding somewhere and waiting for the terror to end? That was what she thought about as she sweated her way up the stairs. This is all moving at a really quick pace. What is happening? Just before she reached the roof, she saw someone for the first time.
Mommies. Mommies.
She was sitting on the stairs, cradling her knees. For some reason, her voice was muffled, but it did seem to be a woman's voice. Her head seemed big and round in the darkness. It was a moment before she realized that it was a full-face helmet. That was when she realized it was the woman in the motorcycle suit from before.
Mommy! Where are you, Mommy?
She seemed like a totally different person than the woman she'd met before. All she did was sob and cry for her mother.
Hey, what's going on? Mommy! Where are you? Mommy! Tell me!
She shouted louder, and only then did the woman realize she was there. But she didn't even stand up.
Mommy's gone. The time machine was destroyed.
Huh? What do you mean? What do you mean it was destroyed? Oh no. Oh no! What? The time machine was destroyed?
Who's your mommy? Is it Suzuha Amane? No. It's Mommy Mayuri, of course.
Maho's blood ran cold when she heard the name Mayuri.
Mayuri's here?
If that was true, she would have come here after she learned the truth from Maho. Oh, they shot her up there, didn't they?
It's my fault.
Maho put her hands to her head.
If I hadn't said that, Mayuri wouldn't have...
The woman in the motorcycle suit stood up and approached her menacingly.
That's right. You got the information out of Dintaro Okabe. And that's what began all of this. Give me back my mommy!
The girl grabbed her by the collar and lifted her off the ground. There wasn't anything she could say.
Mommy!
When she didn't answer, the woman let go and fell to the ground crying. Things would be so much easier if she'd just killed me here. Her mind was in such chaos that she couldn't stop herself from thinking it. She couldn't stay calm at all. And the last thing she clung to was...
Credits. Maho.
The AI made from Kudit's Makase's memory data. Maybe she was still thinking about their last decision, because she seemed upset. She wasn't saying anything. So Maho gave up the last of her pride.
Credits. What do I do? Too much has happened, and there's nothing I can do on my own anymore. At least, I want to take responsibility for what I've done.
And then she realized that she was still being proud, and corrected herself. She asked herself, what do I want to do?
I want to save Okabe. I want to save Mayuri. I want to apologize to both of them, so they'll forgive me. And Kurtz, I want to save you, too. So help me. Please. You're asking me for help?
Kuritz's eyes were wide. That's right. Her pride had kept her from ever asking Kuritz for help before, and it was the same with Kuritz too. And knowing Kuritz's personality, if Maho asked for help, she'd use every bit of brainpower she had to give it.
Come on. Tell me. You can give me some solution, right?
That's why they said Kuritz Makase was a genius. She was a woman who made the impossible possible. Maho waited for Kuritz to answer. The last hope. The last thing left in Pandora's box. She waited for Kuritz to give her the answer. But
it's impossible.
Maho was struck dumb for a moment. Then she realized how selfish she was being, and hated herself for it. She'd expected too much of Kuritz, and tried to put all the burden on her. And just a few moments ago, she'd been the one who rejected Kuritz.
Yeah, you're right. Of course, that's what you'd say. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Kuritz. I was so horrible to you.
This is all coming out like really crazy. Like this seems, I don't know, this is weird. This is like really moving fast, and also just like she's like, I don't know. This feels off. I don't know how to explain it. Do you feel what I'm feeling, or is it just me? I don't know.
And then I stupidly thought that you'd help me unconditionally. I'll help you unconditionally. What? What did you just say? I can't turn down a request for help from you. And I want to save Okabe and Mayuri Shina too. But then I'd love to help. But unfortunately, my help would just make things worse. I'm being constantly monitored by Stratfor. Constantly? Whenever I'm talking to someone like this, all the information is transferred to Stratfor. There's a hidden function in the Amadeus app that does that. Even Maho hadn't known that existed. So if you try to help Okabe, Dr. Leskinen will know all about it. But then what do I do? But if you're willing to take advantage of that, there's something we can do. Maho, will you trust me? Maho? Yeah. You're all I've got. Thank you. By the way, I'm sure this conversation is being monitored as well. What? But then, if they know you're helping me... There are 3 possibilities. They could take my data off the server and isolate me. Or overwrite my data with an older version of my memories. In the worst case, they could delete me entirely. No! Don't worry. You're capable of standing up on your own 2 feet. I'm not worried about me! I'm worried about you! I'm nothing but data, but thank you. The credits on the screen bowed and smiled. I'm proud that I was able to work with you, Maho. What? Don't talk like it's the last time we're ever going to see each other. Well, it might be. I hate you! You always do this! You always go and leave me behind! But that's who Kuritsmakase was. When Maho had asked her for help, both she and Kurits should have been prepared. That's why. Someday, I'll catch up to you. No, I'll surpass you! Just you wait! Yeah. Kurits smiled once more and disappeared from the screen. Maho wiped away her tears and thwapped the crying girl next to her on the helmet. How long are you going to keep crying? You want to save Mayuri, right? So help me. Help you? First, we need to find Okabe. He should be able to show us how to get out of this. But, do you know where Stratford's hideout is? I don't. Neither do I. But Maho grabbed the girl by the hand and helped her up, then raced down the stairs. It's like she's a totally different person. What is this, dude? Kagari was so cool. It was like, did Mayuri die? She got shot up there? Is that what happened? Is that what I'm understanding? Okay. I don't know. But my friend is going to help me find the answer soon. She told me to believe in her. Kuritsmakase wouldn't betray me. As soon as she left the radio building, she got a message on her Rhine. The gunfire was continuing. As she hurried away, she looked down at her phone. Okabe is in the basement of Tokyo Denki. I just learned this now. I followed their monitoring to find their location. Can I scroll? Okay. Take care of Okabe for me. Teach that darn pervert of a professor
what happens to peeping Toms who watch me all the time. When she read it, she smiled despite everything that was going on.
Thank you, Cudits. Thank you.
She clutched the phone tightly to her chest, but then she quickly changed gears.
I found the Stratford hideout. Tell me where it is. I'll go there and kill everyone inside.
Maho shivered at the ice in her words. She felt a bottomless madness coming from the woman in the motorcycle suit. But for now, she had to cooperate with her. Oh, that's a typo. Okay. There was no way she could get Dintaro back from Leskinen on her own.
Let's go.
She needed to take responsibility for the future she'd created. To avoid that cruel future. Maho ran through the streets of Akihabara, where a war was already beginning. Oh my gosh, now we're back in him now? What just happened, dude? Oh my goodness. This is insane. Hold on, we need to think about this for a second, okay? So Maho got all depressed, told Mayuri, like, everything that Okabe told her just because she was guilty, I guess, because she just ran into her on the street. She didn't go to her, right? She just happened to walk into her. And then, because of that, Mayuri went to the radio building, and I'm presuming got shot or something. They destroyed the time machine that was up there, and then freaking Kagari, like, is all upset, almost wants to kill Maho, doesn't. A place gets raided by, this is kind of not all in the correct timeline, but anyway, the place got raided by military and stuff starting to get shot up now, blown up. And then Kagari now is friends with Maho to go and try and get Mayuri and Okabe back. What? This is moving really fast. It's crazy. Okay. Sure. Oh. Bae? A voice. I could hear a voice. Okabe. Someone was calling my name. I slowly woke up and turned toward the voice.
Okabe.
Maho was standing in the darkness. She had a smile on her face that was somehow lonely and somehow sad.
I'm sorry. You're not going to see me again. If I'm around you, I might betray you again. Listen. I know this is selfish, but I want you to do something for me. Please, find Steins Gate. While you've been captured, something terrible has happened to the world.
Did she make it? This isn't in his brain? This actually is happening? What?
Mayuri and Suzuha are both missing. Kagari and I went to the Stratford hideout to save you. Kagari died there.
Huh?
But she took several of them with her.
What the heck? Is this an ending? Did I get a bad ending? Everything is moving real fast, bro. What is happening?
Dr. Leskinen was the only one to escape. Amadeus was deleted too.
It's gotta be a bad ending, right?
This is all just too much, isn't it? But now you're our only hope. Please. I know it's horrible to just leave this all to you, but Please reach Steins Gate no matter what. Okay, Okabe? Farewell.
Hiajo! I woke up on top of blankets laid out on the floor of a hospital. Okay, all right, it was a dream. I was gonna say, I'm like, what the frick is happening? Okay, all right. We good. It's fine. Huh? The rooms and even the halls outside were overflowing with wounded people. There weren't enough beds, so there were blankets placed on the floor. Where was I? I thought I was back to the other world line, with the war. But I wasn't. According to the news on TV, there had been a terror attack in Akihabara. Okay, so that much did happen. I was gonna say, I was trying to figure out if it was just what he just saw or if it was more than that somehow, maybe. Okay. A special forces group from another country had gone on a rampage, and it was like something out of a war. The incident had come to an end, and the Mystery Special Forces unit disappeared. But many were dead or wounded after the battle. I didn't really remember how I got here. Oh, so they did experiment on him. Oh no. The last thing I remembered was being locked up and horribly tortured by Leskinen. My whole body ached, in fact.
Okay, Okabe. Farewell.
And then I remembered what Maho had said to me in that dream. Was that real? Maho had saved me? And had she mentioned Kagari? I patted down my pockets and found my phone was still there. Oh, they got rid of Amadeus! It really is gone. I tried to call Mayuri. If that dream was real, Mayuri was missing. But that was impossible. I'd chosen this world line so that Mayuri would survive. If nothing else, it was guaranteed that she'd make it to 2036. So she is just gone. She's not dead, she's just gone? Okay. She couldn't die today in 2011. Mayuri. Answer me! But no matter how many times I called, she didn't pick up. I forced myself to stand up and leave the hospital room. I went out to the roof. It seemed I was at the Ochanomizu hospital where Fubuki had stayed before. The morning sky was amazingly clear. I could see Akihabara in the far distance. There were pillars of smoke rising up. Wait, so did he just walk out of the hospital? They did. What? Huh? I shivered at the strange sight. Even from here, I could tell how fierce the battle must have been. The world's history was proceeding as John Titor had prophesied. I tried calling Mayuri again from the roof, but nobody picked up. My next move was to call Daru out of desperation. Hello? Okarin! Daru! Good. You're alive. You too. I'm glad you're safe. Things were surprisingly quiet by the lab. Where are you now? On the run. I left Akihabara. I see. I've gotten in touch with both Faristan and Luca. Both of them say they've evacuated. Hey, Okarin. I can't find Mayushi or Suzaha. And the time machine was completely destroyed yesterday. There's nothing left, not even a piece of scrap. Things are moving so much faster than Suzaha told us they would. So it wasn't a dream after all. While I was unconscious, she'd said her goodbye. Hey, Daru. Am I not allowed to live a normal life? I was ready for this to happen. I'm the one who chose a world where the Third World War occurred, instead of Steins Gate. But I never thought I'd survive and everyone else would die. This isn't fair. Were the laws of God never going to forgive me, no matter what? Was it that much of a sin to escape the wheel of fate? If it was, then why not just curse me? I'm going to make a time machine. Daru, I don't have a choice. I can't let it end this way. What are you going to do, Okarin? The smoke was still rising over Akihabara. I stared at it in shock. I... The tears welled up. I fell to the ground. I didn't have the strength to stand up. I couldn't answer Daru's question. No matter how hard you try, no matter how much you work to change things, everything converges back to the way God wants it. You're wasting your time struggling against it, Daru. I'm so tired. I need to sleep a little. There's still a few years before the Third World War really begins. And there's 14 years before I die. I'll live my life averting my eyes from reality, and not wasting my time with a fight that can't be won. That's the only end that's fitting for a person like me. I'm sorry, Maho. I'm sorry, Mayuri. I'm sorry, Goodits. Forgive me for giving up here.
Ha! That was it! That was an ending? Are you kidding me?
No way!
What could I have done different? I don't understand. I don't understand, dude.
What could I have even answered on the phone differently? I don't understand. I really don't.
That was depressing, dude. I knew it had to be an ending. That was going too fast.
Oh my gosh. They're not gonna pull a true ending like they did in the first game, right? It's not gonna back up right now because it tricked me. This is a real ending that I just got right now. I literally don't know what I could have said different at different times. Like, what did I not say right? All of it seemed like it didn't matter. I don't know. Wow. See, I wonder if choices I made Okabe act the way he was acting. Because all this time I'm thinking, you just went in time and saw how everything's gonna be. How were you not, like, pressing this matter more? But maybe it was an ending I chose. Because like, he still was like, I don't want to touch time, even though he saw what was gonna happen. So, So was the end? When did this ending start? Is what I gotta figure out. When did the ending that I just created start? Was it right after Maho's little portion there, or was it before that? I kind of knew when it said Kagari died too. Holy crap. Okay. Let's just see where this takes us. Wow. Gehenna's Stigma completed. I wonder if it started right as I went to the new timeline, like to the where there was war. Couldn't be though, right? Couldn't be. Wow, that was a real ending. Holy crap, no idea what I did, but hey, I got to one ending by myself. I actually got to an ending, I think, in half as many episodes as I did the first time around with the first game. This is the 16th episode, I believe? Yeah? So, it took me, I think, all the way to, like, the 27th or 28th episode the first time around. Wow. Wow. Okay. Well, I guess that's it. I guess this is the end of that run. So now I'm gonna find a guide and see if I can figure out where I went wrong, because I haven't a clue. Wow, that was a depressing ending. See, the first ending I got in the first game, I actually thought was kind of cool. It was actually kind of a interesting ending. You know, I got Suzuha's ending. We were gonna go back in time together, even though we didn't know what was gonna happen. It had this hopeful feel to it. You know, it was like, this one was just sad. Yeah, that was depressing. Okay. Gehenna's Stigma, I think that said. Alright, well, I guess we'll try to get to another ending in the next episode. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see all of you ruffians in the next video. Peace.